right, we have one more set of notes until you get to do your pre-assessment and then on to the summative. So last bit, this is the hardest part, is when you don't have the picture there, okay? So this is going to be real world problems. You're going to take the information, figure out what kind of image you're talking about, and calculate the surface area. Now you can draw a net if you want, but you do not have to. You're not being required to this time. Other times you are, this time you are not. So it's completely up to you. I will have one on here when we're doing these notes, but that is totally up to you if you want to do that part or not, okay? I think the drawing the net can be very helpful, particularly when you're not doing like a pyramid or rectangular prisms, things like that. Anywho, let's jump right in. So we're talking about a juice box that measures 4 inches high, 3 inches long, and 2 inches wide. So if we're talking about a juice box, you already in your head need to figure out, is it a rectangular prism, a triangular prism, or a pyramid, okay? And so if we think about a juice box, it is obviously a rectangular prism, so that means all the sides are going to be rectangles, and it also means I'm going to have 6 faces. I'm just going off of the things we've already been learning when we were doing these nets and surface areas earlier. So since I'm going to have 6 faces, it's kind of like that problem where we had the like front, back, top, bottom, right, left, right? Like those are the pieces. Now it doesn't matter because they don't, I mean, even though they say high and long, all that, it really doesn't matter where this goes. But I know I'm going to have 2 pieces that are 4 by 3s, right? Because I have to match up those 4 and 3s. I know I'm going to have 2 pieces that are 3 by 2. And I'm also going to have 2 pieces that are 4 by 2. So notice how I just kind of matched up the numbers. So here is my net. If you want to draw a net, you can. It really doesn't matter. But you can see on here I've got my 3 by 4s, I've got my 2 by 3s, and I've got my 2 by 4s. Okay, so if you want to draw your net to help you, feel free. But if you can also visualize this in your head, that's okay too. But you do need to show your work. So when I'm going to do the surface area for this, I need to show that I'm doing 2 of each kind of piece. So here's what I'm showing you in the first step, okay? Go ahead and start writing this down if you didn't also already do your net. And of course, if you need more time, pause and finish what you're doing and then unpause the video. That is totally up to you. So here are my 4 by 3 pieces, right? My highs and longs. So I got 4 by 3, but I have 2 of those pieces. So I'm showing 2 times those individual pieces. So yes, I could write that all together, but I want to make sure I'm writing it a particular way so I see that that's the piece, and I have 2 of those pieces. Then I'm going to add those pieces to my next pieces. So I also have 3 times 2 pieces, right? My 2 by 3s or 3 by 2s, it doesn't matter how you say it. But I have 2 of those, so I'm showing 2 of those pieces, plus my 4 by 2 pieces, and I have 2 of those as well. So I'm only going to do what's in parentheses first, not necessarily because they're parentheses, because they are all showing multiplication, but I want to do that so you see what the individual piece area is, and then you can take it times 2 because there's 2 of those pieces, right? So I'm basically finding the individual area for each one of my pieces here. So I'm going to show 2 times my 4 by 3, so I'm going to say 12, so 2 times 12, plus my 2 times this individual piece, which is 3 times 2 to get 6. And then my last one, I've got 2 pieces that are going to be 4 times 2 to get 8. So here's my next step. So here I've got pieces that are 12, pieces that are 6, pieces that are 8. And when I say that they are this, that's their area. So the area of those pieces, right? So the area of this piece is 12, area of this piece is 8, area of this piece is 6, and I have 2 of those pieces, okay? So now I can show those 2 pieces. So I get 2 times 12 is 24, 2 times 6 is 12, and then 2 times 8 is 16. So I have those pieces, right? So again, this is representing all 6 of my pieces because I'm showing 2 of them. So now I just did that multiplication. So now you just need to finish adding those pieces up. So I end up, when you want to do this in your calculator, you're more than welcome to, because again, you're able to use a calculator for these. So if you need to do that, feel free. But I end up with 52 inches squared, because that's what it told me at the beginning, inches squared. Now, if it's too confusing for you to put the 2 here, you can write out 4 times 3 plus 4 times 3 plus 3 times 2 plus 3 times 2 plus 4 times 2 plus 4 times 2. I'm just condensing them to make it easier. But if you need to write those out individually, you're more than welcome to do that to show all 6 pieces. That's up to you. Or if you want to do that part in your head and write 12 plus 12, 6 plus 6, 8 plus 8, you can do that. That is up to you. I'm just showing you an alternative way. All right, enough of me talking. Let's move on to the last problem. So again, let's first just read the problem and see what it's asking us. It says, Jessie is painting a pyramid-shaped base for her lamp. The base of the pyramid is a square with a side length of 4.5 inches. The height of one of the triangular sides is 6 inches. What is the surface area of Dusty's pyramid? So let's break this down. We know it's a pyramid, so we know what that should look like. The base of the pyramid, right, so I'm looking at the base of the pyramid is a square. So I know that it has a square base, and then you have 4 triangles coming off of it. So if you want to start drawing out your net, you can. That is up to you. And because that square has a side length of 4.5, I know it's going to be 4.5 by 4.5 because that's how a square works. And then the height of the triangular side is going to be 6 inches. So I'm going to have 4.5 is the base, 6 is the height. So here's what my net looks like if you chose to do it, right? Showing my base here, and then I've got my 4.5 by 6 for the triangles. So now, remember with pyramids, you're going to have your base. So when I do that, I end up with the 4.5 times 4.5. So that's going to be my base here. Then I'm going to need to add that to my triangles, right? But I have 4 of these triangles. So again, remember with triangles, you do base times height divided by 2, or we could call that half, right? You can say half of whatever your base times height is. But then you're going to take that and multiply it by 4 to get your 4 triangles. So here's how we represent that. And again, if you want to show divide by 2 instead, I really don't care. That's the same as multiplying by a half. So the numbers in the parentheses represent the area of one triangle. We take that times 4 to represent all 4 triangles. Okay, so now let's take our nifty calculator out and do 4.5 times 4.5. We get, oops, sorry, I showed you more. That's okay. We'll talk about this number here in a second. We get 20.25. Okay, so then the way I got this 54, right? We did 4.5 times 6 to get, give me one sec, because like I said, I didn't do this out. So go ahead and do that in your calculator. You got 4.5 times 6 to get 27. Then you take half of that, so divide it by 2 to get 13.5. So that is the area for one triangle. But since you have 4 triangles, you take that times 4, and that's how you get your 54. So then you just need to take your base, add it to your 4 triangles to get 74.25, and we got inches squared again. I'm just getting the inches from the problem. Okay, so that is how you do real world. You have the choice whether to do the net or not, but I do suggest maybe doing that to help you out if you're feeling shaky on it. But you have one more quick check to go get, and then once you're done with that, there is some optional IXL if you want to practice with that. But if you get through the pre-assessment and you think that's enough practice and you're feeling good, then feel free to go on to the summative. But there is some extra IXL practice. If you click on that link in the grid, it'll pull up a list of IXLs that you could do. That is totally your choice. If you feel like you're doing good, great. Do your pre-assessment corrections, check with the answer key, move on to the summative. If not, you might want to try some of those IXLs. All right, good luck.